I remember that day like a scar etched deep into my mind. My family sat around the dinner table, eyes darting between each other, sneering at my words before I even finished speaking. I told them I wanted to pursue music, a passion I'd nurtured in secret, a flickering flame that refused to die out. But their reactions were colder than I'd ever expected. "You're wasting your life," my father grunted, voice dripping with disdain. "You'll never make it. Music? That's just a childish dream. You're embarrassing us." "How can you call yourself a part of this family if you're going to chase something so ridiculous?" My mother shook her head, eyes narrowing. "You're hopeless. All that noise, all that nonsense, it's not a real job. You should be focusing on something sensible, something that'll actually pay the bills. We're tired of pretending we're proud of you." The room spun. My cheeks burned with shame, but beneath that shame was a burning resolve. I knew they saw me as a joke, a failed disappointment before Their words echoed long after I left that night, like a death knell ringing in my ears. But I refused to let their doubts define me. I packed my bag that very night, cramming in my guitar, a few clothes, and a heart filled with unyielding hope. I moved to the city, where no one knew my name, where I could be free to chase my dream without their judgment. The journey was brutal. Months of sleeping rough, playing in run-down bars for scraps, barely scraping by. Every rejection, every failed gig felt like a fresh cut, a reminder that I was an outsider, a pretender. But I kept going. I poured every ounce of my soul into my music, honing my craft, refusing to give up. Years blurred into a relentless grind until one day, the city's underground scene started to notice me. Word spread. My songs found their way onto streaming platforms, then into the playlists of strangers who resonated with my truth. I played bigger stages, earned respect, and eventually made it, really made it. And now I was returning home. The drive back was surreal. My car, once a battered piece of junk, now gleamed with a new shine. My clothes were different, tailored, sharp. My face carried the confidence of someone who'd shed years of doubt. I was no longer the kid they mocked, no longer the fool they dismissed. I had become what they called ridiculous, a success beyond their wildest expectations. As I stepped out of the car in front of our old house, my heart pounded. The familiar street looked smaller somehow, flattened by the weight of their judgment. I took a deep breath, steadying myself, and walked through the front door. The silence was deafening. My family was gathered in the living room, faces stiff, eyes wary. They looked at me as if I was a ghost from a nightmare. Then, slowly, I saw it. The flicker of recognition mingled with disbelief. "Dad," I said, voice steady, "Mom, I've come home to show you something." I reached into my bag and pulled out the award I had received last month, the platinum plaque for my debut album. The room fell silent again, but this time it was heavy with shock, with something unspoken. "This," I continued, voice barely trembling, "is what relentless passion can achieve. I was mocked, called a fool, told I'd fail. But I believed in myself when no one else did. I fought every doubt, every setback, because I knew I had something worth fighting for. My father's jaw clenched, eyes narrowing. My mother looked away, tears brimming, but unspoken. I knew their pride was tangled with guilt. Guilt for dismissing me, for doubting my worth. I didn't come back to gloat, I said softly. I came to tell you that it's never too late to chase your dreams. That sometimes, to prove everyone wrong, you have to walk alone. But the moment you turn around, you might find everything you wanted waiting right behind you. The silence lingered. Then my father finally spoke, voice thick with emotion. We underestimated you, he admitted, eyes moist. We thought you were wasting your life. But you proved us wrong. We are proud of you, more than words can say. In that moment, I saw the cracks in their armor, the shame melting into something more genuine. I saw the family I'd longed for, the one that believed in me, not because I was perfect, but because I refused to give up. Then at the award, then back at myself. I had become everything they doubted I could be, not just a musician. But sometimes, the greatest revenge is living your truth and rising above the noise. As I turned to leave, I heard my father say softly, Never let anyone tell you your dreams are silly. You've shown us what's possible. And I knew, in the depths of my soul, that I had finally returned home, not just to my house, but to my own sense of worth. The ridicule, the rejection, the pain, they led me here, to this moment where I stood tall, victorious, and finally, unbreakable.